Hey everybody, hope you're having a good Friday. This is the time where we share with you our Discovery Bible study. Want to let you know that the first of next week, early next week, we'll have some news about when we're going to start meeting together as a church family. We're going to be doing that soon. It's going to be different, but it's going to be good to at least give people the opportunity to do that. So be listening to us, be watching us for next week to be able to hear those announcements. We've been asking people to spend some time in the book of James and look at it. And this week's scripture is James 4, 1 through 12. It talks about submitting yourself to God. And we've said that the book of James is written by Jesus' brother to Christians who have been scattered because of persecution. They were stressed. They were going through a new normal, is what we hear people talk about today. And so, and the whole book of James is, even though you're going through these difficult circumstances and different circumstances, you need to still be a disciple of Jesus. And I've noticed that when you go through difficult circumstances, a lot of times that nerves become frayed and people get on each other's nerves, and it can be careful. And James talks a little bit about that. The other day, I posted something on Facebook, which can get you in trouble sometimes, and it was just something to be funny, and some people liked it, and then one person came back and sort of said something, and my first response was I started typing, I'll let you know, and then I thought, what am I doing? It's not worth getting into a Facebook fight with this person, so I just deleted the whole thing, but for a moment, I was just, and that's what James chapter 4 begins with. Is, what causes fights and quarrels among you? And it just talks about how we need to submit to God and what we need to do in difficult times. So I would encourage you to spend some time this week in James chapter 4, verses 1 through 12, and study with somebody in your family. Maybe call somebody at church and say, hey, let's go through this together. And we always give you some questions to ask. And this week's going to be a little bit different questions. I wish, has anybody got a deck of cards or some cards?
I do, Woody.
Gene West. Hey, Gene, you're here. It's good to see you. All right. Yeah, he always has what I need. Keith, I need you to pick a card for me, please. So can you pick a card? And show, all right, he picked an ace, and I'm glad you picked an ace, because if you'd have picked any other card besides an ace, you would have messed up my point. So thank you for picking an ace. It worked this way. I want you to read James chapter 4, 1 through 12, and ace it, just like you ace the test. Read it and ask yourself these three questions. Is there any attitudes I need to change? That's the A. Are there any attitudes I need to change in James chapter 4? C, are there any commands there that I need to obey? As I read those 12 verses, I look, are there some commands that I need to obey, especially during this time? And then E, the E in ACE, is there any errors I need to avoid? Are there some errors that are being made that James says we need to be careful about? And so spend some time this weekend looking at James chapter 4, 1 through 12, and then ACE. Is there any attitudes I need to change? Are there any commands I need to obey? Are there any errors I need to avoid? And hopefully it'll help us refocus as we're going through this difficult time and help us stay calm through this time. We'll see you soon.